Bermuda Triangle. Where does reality disappear? There's a place on Earth where the laws of physics seem to break, where time appears to freeze, where ships vanish without a trace, where pilots lose orientation and their last words become, "We can't see the sky anymore, and we don't know where the ground is." This place goes by many names. For some, it's a geographic anomaly. For others, a portal to another dimension. To others still, a scar on the body of the planet. But the world knows it by one name, Bermuda Triangle. A point on the map, circled in fear, the region between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, where for hundreds of years, ships, planes, submarines, and people have disappeared, sometimes entire crews, without a trace, no distress call, no wreckage. So what's really happening in this mysterious region? Why can't even modern technology provide clear answers? Or maybe we've been looking in the wrong place all along? The world is used to explaining anomalies with logic. Rough seas? Must have been a storm, radar failure, likely a malfunction, plane vanishes, technical issue. But in the Bermuda Triangle, things don't follow logic. Here, planes disappear in clear weather, ships sink without sending a single signal, and people vanish, as if they never existed. So what if the truth isn't about weather at all? Sailors who survived encounters with the region tell strange stories. They saw compass needles spinning wildly, engines suddenly falling silent, the sky darkening in seconds, and time behaving differently. One claimed they spent 3 minutes inside the zone, but the instruments showed 3 hours had passed. Another reported voices on the radio, speaking in an unknown language. Others simply never returned. Not even rescue teams, radars, or deep-sea drones could find them. Scientists have offered dozens of theories. Magnetic anomalies, methane gas bubbles, wave resonance, 𝘰𝐿, theories about gravity field, disturbances, but none of them answer the core question: where do the people go? Not just the equipment, not just metal, but consciousness, flesh, memory. Maybe the Bermuda Triangle isn't a geographic anomaly at all, but a fracture in reality, a point where space itself becomes less dense, where the boundaries between worlds are thinner than we think. And if that's true, then where are those people going? This is just the beginning. Perhaps we're underestimating the scale of this mystery. The US Navy archives contain dozens of classified documents about disappearances. Many military missions in this region were lost forever, some seemingly erased from history. There are rumors that certain expeditions never reported back, even though they departed with state-of-the-art equipment. Instead of coordinates, silence. Instead of signals, white noise, as if someone or something was jamming their presence. Sometimes it seems the Bermuda Triangle isn't just a location. It's a mechanism, a system, one that might choose who enters and who gets to leave. Too many coincidences, too many contradictions, too few answers, and some theories are more terrifying than the rest. The portal theory. According to this idea, the region contains a window, a rift between dimensions, a place where the density of space-time is altered. A ship entering such a zone could emerge in another time, another reality, or never emerge at all, the Watcher. Theory. Some suggest that deep beneath the ocean lies an object, possibly extraterrestrial, and that this object can interfere with technology, perception, and memory. It scans or studies those who get too close. The Atlantis theory. Certain archaeologists believe that beneath the triangle rest the ruins of an ancient civilization. Maybe Atlantis, maybe something even older, and that these technologies are still active. You might say, these are just legends. But what if legends are simply forgotten memories? Many ancient cultures spoke of cursed waters. The Aztecs warned of black water where people vanish. Medieval Arab maps showed whirlpools and serpents in this very region. Even the Vikings avoided these seas, calling them whispering waters. This area has long been considered forbidden, and perhaps not without reason. In recent years, interest in the triangle has grown, not just among researchers, but also those who prefer to stay in the shadows. So what are the intelligence agencies hiding? What did the deep-sea drones actually discover, but never published? Why, despite official statements, are the zones around the triangle still heavily patrolled? Maybe we're not really searching for answers. Maybe we're trying not to find them. There are stories you'll never see on TV. One pilot who survived crossing the triangle claimed that time stretched. He flew over 500 kilometers in 10 minutes. According to every calculation, impossible. Yet the instruments confirmed it. The fuel was consumed, the distance covered. Another spoke of hearing a voice in his headset. Not the voice of air traffic control, not an emergency beacon, but a whisper that never stopped. A whisper calling him down. But the strangest things happen after returning. Many who survived begin to feel that time flows differently, that they're not entirely here, that everything around them feels false. Some become withdrawn, others almost obsessed. They draw strange symbols, speak in unknown languages, and sometimes simply disappear, literally. What happens to the mind after encountering the triangle? Some researchers suggest that this region doesn't just distort memory, it tries to rewrite the essence of the person, but who or what stands behind it? One hypothesis speaks of a sleeping artificial intelligence, an ancient AI created by a civilization that vanished before recorded history. It's not destroyed. It's active. It waits. It scans. It chooses. And perhaps it modifies those who approach. Some parapsychologists believe the triangle is a living organism, or part of one, like a nerve node of a larger mind. Perhaps the ocean itself is a form of consciousness, and the triangle, its eye, it observes, studies, waits, or maybe something even more disturbing. Maybe the triangle is a glitch in the simulation, a zone where layers of reality drift apart, where the code doesn't align. And when you enter it, you see behind the curtain, here enters philosophy. What if the triangle isn't a gate to another world, but a gate into ourselves? What if it's a mirror that doesn't show what is, but what we're trying to forget? Perhaps it exists not to scare us, but to remind us that we're overconfident, that we know nothing, that our control is an illusion. And now the most important question. If one day you found yourself there, in the center of the triangle, and heard a whisper calling your name, would you turn away or walk toward it? Why don't we know what truly happens in the Bermuda Triangle? Maybe because we don't want to know. But the truth seeps through the cracks. Reports that go missing. Witnesses who suddenly go silent. Satellite. Data that vanishes from archives. You know that the Earth's magnetic field is distorted in the triangle? The compass doesn't point north, it points inward, toward the place where Atlantis is said to lie buried, toward the spot ancient maps marked as a planetary energy node. Some researchers are certain this is not a random place, it's a point of transition between layers of reality, a place where the boundaries between worlds are thinner than paper. The ships and planes, swallowed by it, they didn't just vanish. They weren't destroyed, they crossed over. But to where? One theory claims they end up on a parallel Earth, a world that looks similar, but isn't. A world without war, but also without freedom, without disease, but under total control. Some who return describe vivid dreams, where they live other lives, in other cities with the same names. Another theory, the triangle is a simulation purge zone, like in a game, where a bug causes a glitch, and the system auto-resets that area. It erases everything, even memory. But what if its purpose is not to destroy, but to archive? Maybe it's collecting memories, voices, DNA codes, emotions, to store them somewhere else, to return them one day, but as something new. And that leads to the ultimate question. If all this is part of a program, if the triangle is its tool, who wrote the code? Who watches as we inch closer to the triangle's core? Pilots and captains who survived often say the same things. I lost all sense of time. I felt like I was flying through cotton. Reality thickened, as if I was moving through water. But it wasn't water. So think about this. What if the Bermuda Triangle isn't a place on a map, but a tier in the code? A point where the universe itself glitches, where time, memory, reality, and illusion blur. There are classified reports, kept far from public access. They speak of voices heard in the triangle, strange languages, messages sent by no one, ghost ships found intact, food still on the table, personal belongings untouched, navigation systems running. But no people, no signs of struggle, no bodies, just absence. What if the triangle isn't a portal to another dimension, but a portal to another form of being? What if we're not the only civilization on this planet? What if In another spectrum of perception, there is another layer of life. They don't see us until we come too close. And then they take. Some will say, it's all myth. But then ask yourself, why do no governments allow open research in this zone? Why are missions suddenly shut down? Why are flight paths strictly controlled? Why are datasets classified? What are we hiding, or who? And now the final question, what if the Bermuda Triangle is a mirror, where you don't disappear, but come face to face with your true self? And only those who are ready to see the truth dare to step into the stillness, where instruments fail, where reality becomes fluid, where silence begins. Only they can return and say, I crossed through the triangle, and came back no longer the same. Now ask yourself, if you were given the chance to enter the triangle and learn the truth, would you take it? Because deep down you've always known. This isn't just a story, it's an invitation. Would you enter the Bermuda Triangle if you knew you'd return changed forever?